felt like watering your lawn was a part-time job, dragging hoses, moving sprinklers, all of that stuff, trying to remember which zone you watered, which zones you missed, the Aiper IrriSense 2 might be exactly what you're looking for. The smart all-in-one irrigation system that replaces your separate pieces of equipment, your sprinkler, your irrigation controller, your pump, your electrical valve, and a nutrient feeder, all of those in a single tower that looks just like this, and it fits right into your yard. You can put it on something flat, you can put it in your grass. It connects to a standard hose and a regular outlet. It takes about 15 minutes to set up. From there, you use the Aiper app to map out up to 10 different custom watering zones so that you can water your vegetable garden, your flower beds, and your lawn in separate zones, and they each get exactly what they need on their own schedule. The IrriSense 2 also has built-in weather detection. If it's raining, it pauses automatically, and its even rain technology mimics natural rainfall. So it reduces soil erosion and it improves absorption. The end result really is awesome. The company claims up to 40% water savings compared to traditional systems where you're overwatering. You can see this rain right here. Lawns are going to be healthier. Your water is going to be a little bit more consistent without you even lifting a finger. Right. So this is everything that comes in the box with the Aiper IrriSense 2. You're going to get a quick start guide, which is right here, shows you all the instructions, how to download the app, how to install everything. You don't need a lot of tools unless you're actually going to change the nozzle. Then you'll just need a Phillips and a straight head screwdriver. So right here is all of your warranty, step-by-step guide, everything like that. Power cable right here, which is going to connect to power. Again, you have your spike mount, which is basically going to hold this on so it stays steady if you put it in the grass. I plan on putting mine on cement. You have these stakes that you can put it into grass, and then this hex screw that just screws these right into the ground. Works pretty super easy to install that. And then this comes with a jet nozzle kit. So what you're going to learn here in a few minutes is that when you have your low PSI, this is actually going to change to a jet stream, which will give you another 15 to 20 feet in your spray. Again, that's if your PSI is not great. Last but not least, this is your power cord. This is going to be about 33 feet long, between 32 and 33 feet long. This is everything that comes in the box. So just to give you an idea of the area that we're trying to cover, is we're trying to cover this whole grass area. And then also we've got some shrubs over here, a rose bush over here, a little bush over here, obviously this pine tree. And then all of this has been covered with weeds, so we're actually just cleaning that out. You can kind of see we're working our way this way. And then, so what we want to do is water not only all of this grass, we want to hit those shrubs right there, go all the way across, hit these trees, this shrub, and then I'm really hoping that we can do a little patch, jump over the hot tub, and actually just hit this little tiny patch right here. So you can see that this had some old tubing in here. That system is old. We have moved in here. We've got some plants and moss and flowers here, but this drip system no longer works. And so we have to actually water this regularly by itself. A couple of things before you install it, you're going to want to know. There's two different ways to install. You can actually put it on a flat surface like cement or cobblestone or pavers or different things like that. The second one is you can install it right into the grass, and it will have a base that it will sit on. I would actually pull away that grass area if you're going to do that. We're going to install it on these pavers here. The second thing that you'll really want to pay attention to before you install is how far away you are from an outlet. It needs power, so you're going to need to either run an extension cord or the power cable along with a hose to the irrigation system. Now, as far as your power is concerned, I just want to let you know this is IP68 waterproof, so this is something that can sit outside. This cable is small enough that you can run it along the foundation of your house or underneath things. You could also run it in between the bricks. Although we're not going to install this in the grass, this is what the mounting stand would look like on the bottom of it. Okay, one of the things that we're going to try and do is we're actually going to test the water range. So to start the test right here, you can see the water's coming out, and right here on top we've got that PSI monitor. Right here, what's going. So what I'm doing is I'm actually just going to stretch that water out, and you'll notice that as the PSI changes, as we go around, that's about as far as we're going to get, right, is a 6 PSI. So you can see right down there, we're at about a 6 PSI. We're hitting the edge of the lawn. Let me go back a little bit and see if we can go a little bit farther. So we're hitting that tree out there, which is where we wanted to hit. And let me see if we can go even further. So this is the max distance. So what we're going to want to do is we're actually going to switch this nozzle right here. Super easy. We will walk you through that process on how to do that. We'll go black. I just want to show you how far we're going. Now we're getting a little bit further out there. Now that the full water is, we're going out towards that pine tree. That's going to be one of our spots, right? Is we want to hit that pine tree all the way out there. But there's that back corner of the grass that we're not hitting. We're not hitting that shrub all the way out there, and we're not hitting that rose bush. So we're going to change our nozzle. We're going to complete the text. We're going to complete the test. And then we are actually going to change this nozzle right here. This will take just a few minutes. And we'll show you what this looks like when we're done changing that nozzle. So you're going to use a Phillips and a flat. It does come with 2 extra screws. And there's a little tiny groove right under here. And we're just going to pop this little plastic piece out. Don't need to pull it out. You'll see that we've got these 2 screws right in here. This piece right here just pops out. And then you can see a little bit of a difference between these two. Not a huge, but then this is just going to snap in. There's that click. That just clicks right in there. A little bit of a on the outside. Again, I want to make sure that the rubber piece, there we go. Okay, let's give this another try. Okay, here we go. We are going to try this test again. So with that nozzle, so you can see now we are at the edge of that lawn. As we go to the right, we're now hitting that rose bush right underneath the rose bush, which is perfect. Now we're hitting the rose bush. You can see that as we go through all the way out there. So the parts that we're really trying to hit, so I'm actually going to walk out here so you can see it. We're trying to hit this rose bush and this pine tree right here. And this Smart Sense rain, you can see that it's watering all the way, almost 15 feet in the way that it comes out. Now, obviously, as the water pressure changes in my house, as somebody flushes the toilet or different things like that, it's going to change. The wind will affect it as well. So here's a look back at the sensor now that we've changed that nozzle. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to map this lawn out here and get this squared away. So I'll show you on the phone and also footage right here just from the second camera. We're going to complete that test. And now we're going to start mapping. You have 3 different mapping areas. You can do an area which is going to be your grass. So we showed you the grass area out here. That is going to be a large area. And the way that it works is it's almost like that old school game Snake, where it will just start with the outside and then slowly move its way into the middle all the way back. And then a line is if we have two different points and we want it to go across. So if we were trying to go from this tree to this tree, then that would be a line. So this area out here might have 2 or 3 different zones. We might just have a grass zone, then we might have a plant zone, and then you have a specific point. So when we talked about earlier, right over here on the other side is we have this point that doesn't get watered very often. We have to manually water it. All of the drip hose got ruined. We had to install some new stuff, which is one of the reasons that we've got the IrriSense 2, is so we don't have to mess with installing a whole new system. We can get some smart watering, smart irrigation as we're going along doing all this. So let's start with mapping an area. So I've clicked on the button area. We're going to go next. We're going to start mapping. We're going to skip those instructions and we're going to start mapping. And the water is on. And you'll see that the IrriSense 2 is just spraying, and now it's pretty much going to go wherever I take it. So we're going to start right along here on this edge on the left side. And then we're going to go deep all the way down there by the gate. You'll see that it is going right up to the gate, all the way out there, which is nice. And then we are going to come back. We're going to add that point right there. And then we can come back a little bit because the grass comes in. So some yards I know are perfectly square, some yards are not. And this is our yard. So we're going to go across all the way over there to that far corner right there. We're going to hit that point. Come in. And I'm actually going to fast forward through this part, but now what we can do is we can add an irrigation schedule. So you can see we pick days of the week. We can select our region. We have that one area map. We can do a start time. We can do a repeat cycle. If we want to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we can hit confirm on that. Obviously, we need to select a region. So this would be this area here. We can confirm water consumption. We're in a little bit of a drought, so we don't want to go too much. And then start time, we want to do it pretty early in the morning. So we're going to go 6 a.m., confirm. And then we want to do this weekly, and we can confirm that schedule. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that little spot on the other side over by the spa and go from there. And we'll just show you how to do a spot. Okay, to add a point or a line or a new place on the map, what we're going to do is we're going to select the gear in the top right, map management, the plus sign at the bottom, and then we're just going to add a point, and then we're going to select next. We're going to skip the operations. We're going to start mapping. Again, the water is going to flow here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this all the way around. I'm going to turn the water down as lightly as possible. There we go. We're going to go all the way around. A little bit of water. We're going to see if we can shoot it over this corner. There we go. We're almost there. So you can see right here, we're getting right in here. So what we may have to do is we may have to adjust where we put the IrriSense 2. We might just have to slide it over, but you'll see right over here that we are hitting that spot that we want. We've got these 2 flowers over here that we have to water manually, regularly. And so there's the one right there and the one right here. We're just going to check this off on the spot just to show you how it's done. It'll save that on the map. The water turns off. We are good to go. So we're going to confirm this is .2. We're actually going to start irrigating. Instead of making this tree out here a spot, I just decided to do it in line with this area because there are shrubs and bushes here underneath this, and then this whole area here You can see it's starting to shore up. And so we went from that pot. So it almost looked like a triangle as we're coming back through this area here. Trying to give you a close up of the stream, the way that it comes out. So the droplets are going to be a little bit softer than hard rain or a sprinkler that's shooting out, especially with our secondary water. We have a pump that pushes out a ton of PSI. So the difference between the 1 and the 2 is the IrriSense had limited support. The IrriSense 2 has up to 10 different watering zones, which are really, really nice. It lets you set independent schedules. You can do in-depths for different areas. Again, the 4-in-1 functionality is absolutely fantastic in the IrriSense 2. When we talk about the 4-in-1, you've got multi-zone smart irrigation. It replaces essentially the need for irrigation controller. It replaces rotor sprinklers. It's got the electrical valve and the nutrient feeder all in it, just in this base right here. And you can see I'm going through an actual watering right now. It has built-in nutrient fertilizer, which I showed you earlier, and that's the Soil Pulse. You can actually order that from them. It comes in the mail. It helps with the roots for deeper growth, healthier grass, natural resistance to pests, bugs, weeds, and you just plug that in and it'll actually shoot out in the water, which is really, really nice. The other thing that's really great about the version 2 as opposed to the version 1 is it's got the mapping programs. So it allows you to do precision mapping on your phone, which I showed you earlier. So you can do line watering, area watering, and spot watering. And again, the line is between 2 spots. A spot is just 1 spot, and then the area is this whole grass area too. It also features 2 weather response thresholds. We showed you those right on the front. They are right here, these kind of water sensors. So not only do they detect water, so when it starts is your irrigation system will turn off. And then it has even rain technology, which basically means that these drops are going to be even all the way across throughout. And so like it's raining, so it's not going to ruin some of those sensitive bushes, some of those sensitive shrubs that I have over here. It covers up to 4,800 square feet, comes with a 2-year warranty. It delivers more stable performance overall. And this is absolutely fantastic